1969 Washington Quarter. So here we have a 1969 Washington Quarter. This coin is part of the Washington Quarter series, which was first introduced in 1932 to honor the first U.S. President, George Washington. The design has remained largely unchanged over the years, except for some small tweaks. But what makes the 1969 version special? Well, let's take a closer look at its history and value. In 1969, the U.S. was experiencing a period of change, with major events such as the Apollo 11 moon landing and the Vietnam War making headlines. The 1969 quarter, like others in the series, was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The design features George Washington on the obverse, with the familiar eagle and E pluribus unum inscription on the reverse. Ooh, let's talk about the specifications. The 1969 Washington Quarter has a diameter of 24.3 m and weighs 6.25 grams. It's made of 90% silver and 10% copper, which gives it a nice, solid feel. But as we move into the more recent years, quarters like these were produced primarily for circulation, so they're not made of the same silver content as earlier versions. Now, let's get into the value. The 1969 Washington Quarter typically isn't worth a lot over face value unless you have a coin in really great condition or one with a special mint mark. For a standard 1969 quarter in average circulated condition, you're looking at about 25 to 50 cents. If it's in uncirculated or proof condition, it could go for a little more, usually around $2 to $5. But here's the real kicker. If you come across a 1969 SID D or a 1969 D minted in Denver in perfect condition, or even a rare era coin, it could be worth significantly more, potentially reaching prices in the tens of dollars or more. As you see, the SID the coin is incomparably common. Some collectors go crazy for era coins. If you find a 1969 quarter with a double die or a 1969 quarter with a double die or any noticeable minting flaw, it could definitely reach a definitely high price. For example, the 1969 double die era could fetch hundreds of dollars depending on the quality and rarity of the mistake. So, how do you know if your 1969 quarter is worth more than face value? First, check the mint mark. It will be right below George Washington's neck, and you'll either see a D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or none at all if it's from Philadelphia. Also, look at the coin's condition. Coins in mint condition with little to no wear are the ones that can bring in more money. In conclusion, while the 1969 Washington Quarter isn't necessarily rare or valuable in average condition, there are definitely opportunities to find something special. Whether it's an era coin or a piece in perfect condition, it's always worth checking your change or coin collection to see what you might have. 1980 Washington Quarter. The 1980 Washington Quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, which was introduced in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. The coin's design has remained largely the same since then, with the iconic portrait of George Washington on the obverse, or front side. This portrait was created by sculptor John Flanagan, and it's one of the most recognizable coin designs in U.S. history. Above Washington's head, you'll see the word Liberty, and beneath the bust, there's the phrase "In God We Trust," which has been on U.S. coins since the 1860s. Of course, you'll also see the year 1980 on this side of the coin, marking when it was minted. Turning to the reverse, or back side, we see the image of an eagle in flight, which has been part of the Washington Quarter design since its inception. This eagle, designed by Frank Gasparo, is a symbol of strength and freedom, qualities that have been associated with the United States since its founding. Below the eagle, you'll find the words United States of America, E pluribus unum, and $quarter, indicating that this is indeed a 25-cent coin. Now, let's talk about the value of the 1980 Washington Quarter. As with most coins, the value can vary depending on its condition, mint mark, and any unique features it might have. The base value of the 1980 Washington Quarter is 25 cents, its face value. However, the actual market value can be higher if the coin is in better condition or if it has specific characteristics that are of interest to collectors. In circulated condition, the 1980 quarter is generally worth its face value of 25 cents. Coins that have been used in circulation often show signs of wear, like scratches, fading, or dullness. In fine or very fine condition, where the coin still retains most of its details but shows some wear, it might be worth around 50 cents to $1. If the coin is uncirculated, meaning it has never been used in circulation and has been carefully preserved, it could be worth more, typically $5 or more, depending on its condition. Uncirculated coins usually have sharper details and a more lustrous finish, making them more valuable to collectors. Special types of 1980 quarters, such as those with mint errors, can also be worth more. Errors might include things like double strikes, off-center coins, or other unusual features. If you find an error on your 1980 quarter, it could potentially increase its value significantly. Another important factor when determining the value of the 1980 Washington quarter is its mint mark. The U.S. Mint produces coins at different facilities, and each location uses a distinct mint mark to indicate where a coin was struck. The 1980 Washington quarter was minted at 3 different U.S. Mint locations. Philadelphia. This mint didn't use a mint mark, so you'll find no letter on these coins. Denver. The coins produced here have a D mint mark. San Francisco. The San Francisco Mint produced proof coins, and these quarters have an S mint mark. Proof coins are specially made for collectors with a mirror-like finish and sharper details. These proof quarters are often more valuable than the regular circulation quarters. If you happen to find a 1980 CH proof quarter, it could be worth more than a standard circulation coin. Proof coins are struck using a special process which gives them a smooth, shiny surface and deeper, more detailed designs. These are often the coins collectors seek out for their collections. 1965 Washington Quarter. The 1965 Washington Quarter still features the familiar design that was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. On the obverse side of the coin, we see a portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Washington's profile is surrounded by the word liberty at the top, with "In God We Trust" inscribed beneath his portrait. On the reverse side, we see an eagle in flight, designed by Frank Gasparo. This eagle has its wings spread wide, symbolizing freedom and strength. Below the eagle are the words United States of America, U pluribus unum, and $quarter, indicating the coin's denomination and the motto of the United States. However, one key difference with the 1965 Washington quarter is its composition. Prior to 1965, U.S. quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. But in 1965, due to the rising cost of silver, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of quarters. Starting in 1965, the Washington quarter was struck with a clad composition, a core of pure copper-nickel. This was done to reduce costs and prevent further coin shortages. Now, let's talk about the value of the 1965 Washington quarter. Since the 1965 quarter is made of a copper-nickel clad composition rather than silver, its value is not driven by the precious metal content as much as other quarters. Here's a breakdown of the potential value based on condition and other factors. In circulated condition, most 1965 Washington quarters are worth face value, 25 cents. These coins have been in circulation and show signs of wear, such as scratches or fading. In uncirculated condition, a 1965 Washington quarter that has been kept in pristine condition and never used in circulation could be worth anywhere from $1 to $5 depending on its grade. Uncirculated coins often have sharp details and are free from wear. Proof coins. The U.S. Mint also issued proof sets during this time, including proof 1965 Washington quarters. These coins were specially made for collectors and have a shiny mirror-like finish. A proof 1965 Washington quarter can be worth $10 to $20 or more, depending on its condition or rarity. The 1965 Washington quarter is not particularly rare, but its historical significance, particularly due to the shift in metal composition, can make it more valuable to certain collectors. The 1965 Washington quarter was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. However, there's an interesting thing to note. 1965 quarters from Philadelphia did not have a mint mark. Quarters from Denver have a D mint mark, and those from San Francisco have an S mint mark. Despite the mint marks, the 1965 quarter is considered a relatively common coin, and you're not likely to find one with significant premium value unless it's in uncirculated or proof condition, or there are unusual mint errors. To understand the significance of the 1965 Washington quarter, it's important to know the historical context in which it was created. The 1960s saw rising inflation and a growing cost of silver. In 1965, after much debate, the US government decided to remove silver from most of the country's coinage to reduce production costs. This led to the creation of the 1965 clad coinage. Quarters, dimes, and half dollars were all struck using a copper-nickel clad composition instead of pure silver. This move made coins less costly to produce, but it also marked the end of silver coinage in everyday circulation. The change in composition was so significant that the 1965 quarter is sometimes seen as a transitional coin. The decision to move away from silver altered the appearance, weight, and value of US coins, and for collectors, this makes the 1965 quarter an interesting piece of history, even though it doesn't have the precious metal value of earlier quarters. Stick around, you won't want to miss this one. The New York State Quarter was released on January 10, 2001, as part of the US Mint's 50 State Quarters program, a series that ran from 1999 to 2008. This program aimed to celebrate the unique heritage of each US state. New York was the 11th coin in the series, commemorating its admission to the Union as the 11th state back in 1788. The reverse of the coin showcases an iconic design, the Statue of Liberty, a map of New York State, and the phrase, "Gateway to Freedom." This imagery symbolizes New York's role as a beacon of hope and opportunity for millions of immigrants who passed through Ellis Island. The reverse design was created by artist Alfred Beletsky. The Statue of Liberty stands prominently on the left, and to the right, there's an outline of New York State, with a line tracing the Erie Canal. Below, the words "Gateway to Freedom" remind us of the state's historical significance. The obverse features the standard portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, used on all quarters in this series. Surrounding Washington, you'll see the inscriptions "United States of America, Liberty, and In God We Trust." Let's talk about numbers. The 2001 New York quarter was minted in 3 main locations. Philadelphia, marked with a P. Denver, marked with a D. San Francisco, marked with an S for proof coins. Philadelphia, 655400000. Denver, 619640000. San Francisco proof, 309440. The proof coins, struck with extra detail and a mirror-like finish, are highly sought after by collectors. Keep an eye out for these rare versions. Let's talk value. The standard circulated 2001 New York State quarter is typically worth its face value, 25 cents. However, uncirculated and high-grade coins can fetch much more. For example, MS65 or higher, condition $2 to $5. Proof versions, $5 to $20 depending on the condition. And if you're lucky enough to find an error coin, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or missing clad layers, those could be worth hundreds. 2000 Massachusetts State Quarter. The Massachusetts State Quarter was released in the year 2000 as part of the US Mint's 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. This program celebrated each state's unique heritage by dedicating a coin to its history and culture. Massachusetts was the 6th state to be featured in this series, reflecting its status as the 6th state to join the Union on February 6, 1788. Now, let's talk about the design. On the reverse side, we see the iconic Minuteman, a tribute to the brave militia who fought during the Revolutionary War. Behind him is an outline of the state of Massachusetts, and the design is completed with the words "the Bay State," which is Massachusetts' nickname. The obverse side, like all quarters in the series, features a portrait of George Washington, sculpted by John Flanagan and modified for this program. In 2000, the Massachusetts quarter was minted in 2 main locations. Philadelphia, over 742 million coins were struck. Over 535 million coins were produced. There are also special proof versions made in San Francisco, including both clad and silver proofs, which were created for collectors. Let's talk value. In circulated condition, most Massachusetts quarters are worth their face value, 25 cents. However, uncirculated coins in pristine condition, especially those graded MS65 or higher, can sell for $2 to $5. Proof versions, especially silver proofs, can range from $5 to $15 depending on their grade. Keep an eye out for error coins as well. Some Massachusetts quarters feature minting errors, such as off-center strikes or double dies, which can fetch significantly higher prices depending on rarity and demand. Before we wrap up, here's a fun fact. Massachusetts' nickname, the Bay State, refers to its three major bays, Cape Cod Bay, Massachusetts Bay, and Buzzards Bay, which played a crucial role in the state's history and economy. The Minuteman design also symbolizes Massachusetts' pivotal role in the American Revolution. 2003 Illinois State Quarter. Today, we're diving into the 2003 Illinois State Quarter. We'll explore its history, design, and value. So stick around to find out if this coin could be worth more than 25 cents. The Illinois Quarter is part of the 50 State Quarters program launched by the U.S. Mint in 1999. This program ran for 10 years, celebrating each state's unique heritage and history. The Illinois Quarter was released on January 2, 2003, as the 21st coin in the series. Now let's talk design. On the obverse of the coin, we see the familiar profile of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. The real magic is on the reverse, designed by Donna Weaver. This side features a young Abraham Lincoln, honoring his early life in Illinois, also known as the Land of Lincoln. There's a farm scene with a barn and silo representing Illinois' agricultural roots, and the Chicago skyline in the background, symbolizing the state's modern urban achievements. You'll also notice the year 1818, when Illinois joined the Union, and at the bottom, the state motto, Land of Lincoln. Every element tells a story about Illinois' rich history and diverse culture. The Illinois Quarter was struck at 3 different mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia produced over 225 million coins, Denver nearly 237 million, and San Francisco made proof coins with around 3.4 million minted in both clad and silver versions. To identify the mint, check for the mint mark just under "In God We Trust" on the obverse side of the coin. Now, the big question, what's it worth? Circulated coins are typically worth their face value of 25 cents. Uncirculated coins, or those in MS65 condition, can fetch around $160. Proof coins, especially silver ones, can be worth $5, $10 or more. But keep an eye out for error coins. Some Illinois quarters have die errors, off-center strikes, or die cracks. These can be worth anywhere from $50 to several $100s, depending on the severity. Here's a fun fact. Illinois was chosen as Lincoln's home state for this quarter because he began his political career there, and the design captures the spirit of his legacy perfectly. It's also the first U.S. coin to feature an image of Lincoln that's not a memorial or presidential portrait.
1788 New Hampshire State Quarter. The New Hampshire State Quarter was released on August 7, 2000 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. New Hampshire, being the 9th state to join the Union in 1788, was honored with its own quarter design. This quarter holds not only historical significance, but also features unique design elements that are beloved by collectors. Historical context. New Hampshire played a pivotal role in American history. It was the first state to establish an independent government separate from British rule in 1776. The state is known for its rugged landscape, the White Mountains, and its motto, "Live free or die," which is prominently displayed on the quarter. Design features. The obverse side of the coin, like all state quarters, features the iconic portrait of George Washington. The reverse side is where the unique design comes to life. It showcases the dramatic image of the Old Man of the Mountain, a famous granite rock formation that resembled the profile of a man's face. Below the rock formation is New Hampshire's state motto, "Live free or die," reflecting the state's revolutionary spirit. However, in a tragic turn of events, the Old Man of the Mountain collapsed in 2003, just 3 years after the quarter's release, making this coin even more symbolic and cherished by collectors. Mintage figures. The total mintage of the New Hampshire State Quarter is as follows. Philadelphia P 673,040,000. Denver D 588,200,000. San Francisco S Clad Proof 4,020,172. San Francisco S Silver Proof 965,421. Market value collectability. In its circulated condition, the New Hampshire quarter is typically worth its face value of 25 cents. However, uncirculated versions, especially in higher grades like MS67 or MS67 or MS68, can fetch anywhere between $5 to $25. The silver-proof versions can be worth even more, especially in perfect PR70 DCAM condition, often reaching prices of $50 or more. Errors varieties. Some rare errors associated with this coin include die cracks around the old man of the mountain design, double die errors on the lettering of live, free, or die, off-center strikes which can significantly increase the value of these quarters. Collector interest. Collectors are drawn to the New Hampshire quarter not just for its design, but also for its historical relevance. The collapse of the old man of the mountain added a layer of nostalgia, turning it into a must-have for those interested in commemorative state quarters. 2002 Ohio State Quarter. The Ohio State Quarter was issued on March 11, 2002, as the 17th release in the 50 State Quarter series. Ohio is known as the birthplace of aviation because it was home to the Wright brothers and John Glenn, the first American astronaut to orbit Earth. Historical context. Ohio became the 17th state to join the Union in 1803. The state has a rich history in aviation and space exploration, making it a fitting theme for its state quarter. Ohio is also known for its contributions to the automotive industry and is the birthplace of several U.S. presidents. Design features. The reverse design of the Ohio quarter, created by Donna Weaver, features an astronaut and a biplane above an outline of the state. The words "Birthplace of Aviation Pioneers" are prominently displayed, celebrating Ohio's contributions to flight and space exploration. The obverse side remains the same standard design of George Washington as on all state quarters, ensuring consistency across the series. Mintage figures. The total mintage of the Ohio State Quarter is Philadelphia P 217,200,000, Denver D 414,832,000, San Francisco S-Clad Proof 3,084,245, San Francisco S Silver Proof 888,826. Market value collectability. Circulated Ohio quarters usually hold their face value, but uncirculated high-grade coins can be more valuable. In MS666 or MS67, prices range from $5 to $15. The silver-proof versions, particularly in PR70 DCAM, can go for upwards of $40 to $60. Some notable errors found on the Ohio State Quarter include die breaks that result in extra metal lumps near the design elements, misstruck coins where parts of the design are missing or doubled, clip planchets where the edge of the coin appears to be cut off, collector interest. The Ohio State Quarter is a favorite among collectors due to its rich historical references. Its association with the Wright brothers and John Glenn makes it a sought-after piece, especially for those interested in aviation and space history. 1999 Connecticut State Quarter. The Connecticut State Quarter was released on October 12, 1999, and was the fifth release in the series. This coin commemorates Connecticut's rich history as one of the original 13 colonies and its entry into the Union on January 9, 1788. Historical context. Connecticut is famously known as the Constitution State because of its early adoption of a representative government. The state is also renowned for its scenic landscapes, including the famous charter oak, a symbol of American independence and resistance. The reverse side of the Connecticut Quarter, designed by T. James Farrell, features the charter oak, a historic tree where the state's royal charter was allegedly hidden to protect it from British authorities in 1687. The obverse side, like all state quarters, features the portrait of George Washington. The Connecticut State Quarter mintage numbers are Philadelphia P 688,744,000, Denver D 657,880,000, San Francisco S-Clad Proof 3,713,359, San Francisco S Silver Proof 804,565. Market value collectability. In circulated condition, Connecticut quarters are usually worth around their face value. However, uncirculated coins in top condition can be much more valuable. High-grade MS67 quarters can reach prices of $10 to $20. Silver-proof coins in PR70 DCAM can go for $50 or more. Errors varieties. There are a few known errors associated with the Connecticut quarter. Die doubling on the branches of the charter oak. Off-center strikes that can fetch premiums depending on severity. Missing clad layer errors where the copper core is exposed, increasing its rarity and value. Collector interest. The Connecticut quarter is highly sought after for its beautiful and intricate design featuring the charter oak. It serves as a symbol of the state's enduring legacy and historical significance, making it a prized addition for collectors focusing on the 50 State Quarters series. And that wraps up our deep dive into these incredible state quarters. The New Hampshire, Ohio, and Connecticut State Quarters each hold a unique place in American history, and are highly valued among collectors. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned collector, these coins offer a fascinating glimpse into the stories of our nation's past. 1976-1976 Bicentennial Quarter. The year 1976 marked the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, a pivotal moment in American history. To commemorate this significant event, the U.S. Mint released a special set of coins known as the bicentennial coinage. These coins included the quarter, half dollar, and dollar coins, each featuring unique designs celebrating America's past. The bicentennial quarter was especially popular. Unlike typical quarters, which feature the American eagle on the reverse, these quarters were adorned with a special design showcasing a colonial drummer, with a torch encircled by 13 stars to represent the original colonies. This design was the work of Jack L. H.R., who won a national competition held by the U.S. Mint to select the new imagery. The bicentennial quarter was minted in 2 years, 1975 and 1976, but all these coins bear the dual date 1776 to 1976. Interestingly, no quarters were minted with the year 1975. These coins were produced at the Philadelphia No Mint Mark and Denver D Mints, as well as in San Francisco S for proof and silver versions. Obverse front, the traditional profile of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Reverse back, the colonial drummer design with the dual dates 1776 to 1976. Let's take a quick look at the mintage numbers for these quarters. Philadelphia Mint No Mint Mark, approximately 809 million quarters produced. Denver Mint D, around 860 million quarters. San Francisco Mint S proof versions, and both clad in 40% silver compositions, with the silver versions being part of special collector sets. The clad versions were intended for circulation, while the silver versions were struck specifically for collectors. These silver bicentennial quarters are made of 40% silver, making them not just historically significant, but also valuable for their metal content. So what's the value of these bicentennial quarters today? The answer largely depends on the condition, the mint mark, and whether it's a regular or a silver version. Circulated clad quarters, these are generally worth their face value of 25 cents. However, uncirculated versions in pristine condition can fetch between $1 to $3. Silver-proof quarters S Mint, these can range from $5 to $15 depending on the condition. High-grade examples MS67 or higher graded and certified coins in top condition can command prices of up to $150 or more at auction. Error coins. Keep an eye out for rare error coins like double strikes or off-center strikes, which can significantly increase the value, with some fetching upwards of $500. To maximize the value of your bicentennial quarters, here are a few things to look for. Mint state condition, uncirculated quarters with no signs of wear are the most valuable. Look for sharp details and a glossy, lustrous surface. Proof and silver quarters, the San Francisco Mint proofs have a mirror-like finish, and silver versions have a distinct weight and sound. Error coins, check for any minting errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet errors. These can be rare and highly sought after by collectors.